We're going to go ahead and pull our shifting yokes and handles out. Now we've already taken the square set screw out of the yoke over there, and then I took and there's a spacer in the yoke, and I've got a piece of key stock right between the yoke, and there's a little collar that locks the thrust on this. Because there's a key that's going through that yoke on this shaft. This shaft is the same size all the way, except for I think the very end goes into a little pilot or a bushing or bearing area that might be a little reduced. We'll see when we get that out of there, because everything is hidden and everything's, you know, inside each other. There's probably some O-ringage going on between these pivoting areas here and the gearbox, because there is oil and stuff here, and I'm sure that they are old and they're not doing their job anymore. And I kind of look right here, I see a little area right there. Whether that's an O-ring mark or not, I won't know until I get this all the way out to where I get to see what they're using to actually create seals for that oil not to just run out of the gearbox here. Anyway, I got that one locked in there, and I ran out of stroke here, so I went and got an aluminum block here, and we're pulling this out, and I'm staring in there, just watching the keyway. I can see it better there. Watching the keyway as I pull this out, okay, and the yoke just came off the end. Okay, there is a key in there. That's just a goop, gobbledygook there. I think that's just a hole that goes all the way through. There's the locking screw that locks it onto the shaft. And of course this is the, we couldn't get that out in there, but we got it pushed back far enough to get that shifter bearing out of there to get that shaft out. So there's the yoke right there, and we're going to lay these pieces out on the table as soon as we put those gears away over there. All right, but I should be able to pull this out the rest of the way. Here's the spacer that I had. See, I had the spacer, and then I had this key between here and the yoke, so that I could stare down here to see what was coming. If the Woodruff keys were going to come out and I was going to have to knock those out, we you know, you don't know. But there is a key that's all the way in there, and it's locked in. There's something there. It might be lead or something, some way that they actually form. It might be a hole where the key has a hole that comes up, and that's what keeps it from slipping through there. I know it's ramped on this side. We'll take a closer look at it. So I just got you sitting in here to capture how I'm actually having to pull these rods out of here. Okay, the collar mounted there. That set screw went right there, and it just tightened down. That was it's just a hard crunchy that was in there in the key, and that's the same size, so that the bearing bore at the other end is the same size. That looks really good. There is a mark there, so we'll take a look in there I can feel a really old O-ring in there. Okay, same thing on that one. The yoke, now that that other gear is off there, that yoke can actually yeah. You know what it is the set screw that locks the collar in. Creates a little burr and then drags out the housing. So alright, we'll gingerly pull that out. Okay, we got the little feet out of the shifter here. They just slid down in there, so they could probably be lifted out if I move this to this direction here. Yeah, and I could probably grab them and swing them up here. All right, I got that one. Yeah, I got that one. Okay, good. All right, I'll move those over here. All right, so that shaft, I'm going to pull these 3 bolts. These nuts are on dowel pins. These are taper pins that locate this block right here on this place here. So I'm going to pull the taper pins out. Then I can break loose these 3 bolts right here. And then this assembly should just lift up off of this bearing here. So then I'll take off this bearing race here and then this one here, and we can get this out of the way. And then all we have left is that arm. It's going through that yoke, but that yoke is not connected to that arm. But when we want to slide it out, it's binding inside that arm. So we got to figure out what that is. All right, let's do the easy one first. Okay, let me grab a pair of channel locks to grab a hold of that right there. Okay. Roll it over. Okay, we'll have to loosen that gear and lower that unit there, or take that gear off to get that to go past. There we go. Okay. That appears to be a rubber lip seal right there, Victor's. Got a good number right there. That's awesome. I like to see that. Okay, that outer race is still holding the shaft in there. Alright, we're going to go ahead and grab I think it looks like a 1/2 inch socket, and we're going to draw those taper pins out. It's always the weirdest feeling to pull taper pins because they start slipping once they're loose. They really only keep the nuts there so that, I don't know if the 70s tool is going to be strong enough. Yep, okay. Taper pin. Taper pin. Alright, I think that might be, are those 7/8? Let's see. Yep, they're 7/8. I'll get a socket. Alright, I don't know if these are going to be breaker bar effort or not. Nope. Okay, awesome. Alright. Nice machine surface. There's the dowel holes right there. Alright, there's one bearing cup right there. Or cup. There's the bearing there. Okay, da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da. Okay. All right. Well, we'll take that. Anything that comes off of there, we'll take it. Okay. All right. And there goes the dog. And there's that collar that's loose, and you can see that those set screws have been rubbing. That one's missing right there. Okay, I can see that yoke and that shaft right there. I can see the shaft rotating in there too as well. Okay, how are we going to get that bearing out of there? Okay, I'm going to put the shifter over here. Okay, the dog points are still on the set screws there. That one's missing. I'm going to take a soft hammer and actually see if I can push that race that way a little bit and relieve it. Yep. Okay. And that goes right on out that way there. Okay. That gear's going to have to stay there until we get that shaft out of there, I believe. There's a thread right there. And I'm wondering if this is supposed to be, I don't know. I gotta look at that. There's a thread in there. Alright, and we got those two bearings right there. Or actually, we got those two parts of the bearing. That's one bearing, cup and cone. Okay, I tried putting my puller shaft, slam hammer, through there, and it couldn't, so I reached in with a pair of, I reached in with my scribe. A pair of scribes, yeah, right. Okay, I reached in with my scribe. This is like a rope packing, and that's a packing nut on this outside. So the seals for these shafts are actually rope packing, like a stuffing box. And this is coiled in there, which normally packing's not coiled. So this is really old school. So I'm going to save this piece off to the side. Okay, we have this little baby slam hammer here. We've got all kinds of ends here. In fact, we won't even have to do anything other than cut this length of 3/4 National Fine rod. 3/4 is the diameter of the rod that goes through that first that inner shaft. And we're going to go ahead and cut this off here. We got a little bit to play on. This is the original puller combination 3/4 5/8 that came with this, and then I needed a 5/8 to 3/4 female, so I can screw this into here, screw that onto the one of the threads, put the nut on the other side down in there, and then we can draw that shaft out. All I can see is a mushroomed over surface that's coming through the solid bore of this shift fork for the forward and reverse that floats on the shaft. So that's the plan. So I got to do some cutting, deburring, and get ready, and then we'll bring you around to this side here so you can watch whatever's going to happen. All right, I deburred this, but I need to make sure my nuts screw on the end of it here. Okay. Okay, this is the nut I'm going to run on the inside. I'm going to be able to run it for a while. We're going to see if this will actually be working. This nut outside diameter is bigger than the shaft itself that we're going to be passing through the bore. Funny, I pushed that down through there and then it pushed probably stuff inside the bore into the nut. All it needs is just a little bit of a grip there. Okay. Okay, got that. Oh, you think I should have screwed? I don't know if I can pull. I don't know. It may come all the way out before it actually hits the closing. Let's see. If I screw that together on the rod, then push this in, it's easy to put the nut on the other side. My brain wasn't going on easy. It was going on whatever steps I thought. Okay, it will. All right. Put that down there. Okay. Okay. Just going until everything bottoms out. Okay, everything's bottomed out. Wasn't that easy? I got about 3.5 inches before I'd have to worry about this nut in here. But by that time we'll know whether it's actually going to come out this way or not, and then we can do something a little different, put a smaller nut or a tube, or I don't know what we'll do, but we'll do it. Okay, I took the nut and I turned it down so it's smaller than that diameter, so I know that I can screw it on here and it'll follow the shaft out with no problem. There's probably 6 inches to be free of the yoke, and 8 or 9 inches to be out, and I think we got a foot in here, so we should be pretty good to go. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. There wasn't nothing there. It was just that little raised area right there where that set screw was raising the materials, and a little bit of this rubbing right there. Besides that, it was coming right out. I don't use it very often, but I'm sure glad I got this draw hammer. Really does make the job nice. All right. All right, and there's another packing nut, and that's some packing in there. Let me set this down. I'm going to have to start categorizing those parts over there so that I can lay out the handles and the shifters and all that stuff out. All right, packing. That's what we were playing with, okay? And this is the adjustment nut right here. Boom, 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 right there. And then right in here's the packing. And it's coiled in there. Usually packing is one roll one way, one the other way, one the other way, and you mismatch your split lines. You never find this in a boat wrapped up like that. Well, I'm not saying you won't find this in there. It's not supposed to be done like that. And anything that's been done by a first-class yard won't have packing wrap like that. That's not how it's done anymore. All right, and there's a little packing nut right there. That's pretty cool. But how do you get to that without pulling the other one out of the way? I don't know. We're going to be looking at that, whether we want to modify it with a lip seal or something, or we go back with something that's been working since 1941. Okay, I hope that was the hard one. The forward set of handles was a lot easier than the aft set of handles, but we had a couple. I mean, there was a couple tight spots, and I did have to pop out the large one out of here as well. I didn't reach in and get that packing out of there yet. Same thing, a coil just like the backside. That's probably stuck. Okay, it's not stuck no more. After after getting that out and everything else, I still couldn't take this cover off of here. And then I realized that there was another set screw in, or a screw in here. Now in the drawing it shows one here and two here. And then I dug around there, and I didn't see anything. And then finally I wiped the goo behind here. So there we go. And these things here, these tubes here, are just dripping out in the right position in the box here. And they have some wicking in the cups. Let the oil flow at a drip rate and not just run right through. Alright, this lathe has a really nice feature of shifting forward and reverse for your feed and your travel, and it's on the twist of the shaft here. And this is what shifts the gear inside. Also, there's a lock collar on this shaft here and at the back over here. And the back over here. So you could be going forward and then come and then back. This is a threading son of a gun machine here. Thread stop, forward and reverse on the lever. You don't even have to stop. You don't have to stop the power or the spindle or anything else. You're just going forward, reverse, and set it right in here. You get the rhythm going, and within a couple seconds you've got your stud all done. All right. So all right, let's go ahead. We got to pull this shaft out of here. I've already taken the set screw out of the tooth shifter over here, and we have one here, and it looks like a tapered pin here, and probably a taper pin there, and then we'll be able to pull that out of here. And there's probably some kind of a packing nut behind this one as well. Once we have that, then we're gonna pull this right off the bed of the lathe here. I've always wanted to lift the headstock off a lathe, and I'm not worried about putting it back. Are you? All right. I'm gonna put the rag in here so the chances of it not falling in there are gonna be reduced. And my luck, it would bounce and then it would go down there, right? Oh, one way or another, huh? Okay. Well, that was in there real tight, huh? Okay, how about this one? That one was properly seated. Okay. All right, I think I got 4 bolts, and then we can lift Pearl's gearbox off the bed here. And I dug it. I dug out all the debris around these bolts here. So we got these 2 on the front, and then we got 2 on the rear back here. Those are a different size. All right. Looks like they might be 7/8. Let's see. 7/8. These actually go through a bar, and the bar catches the underside. You can see that in the photo. I don't know if I need to take all those all the way out for right now. I'm loose. This is mounted on the ways. It should be able to slide, and I do see a little screw right here. I don't know if that's a locator block or what that is, but we pulled it out. Okay, I can actually test my theory. Those are loose. We know these are loose, so I should be able to take a mallet net. It should slide on the dovetails. I know it's been on there a while, but it's not going to go any farther than these 2 bolts right here, so I better take them out. Can't wait to get this thing really washed up really good, because then I get to see a lot of the real design that was put into it. Okay, now it should move. Oh, there's another bar down here at the bottom with 2 more bolts coming up there, and it has a flat plate. So that has got to be holding some kind of tension on it as well. Okay, I don't really know how. You can't get to both of those. Okay, I got that one loose. There's so much crud. I don't know if you can see it falling down there on the pan, but okay, we may have to make a wrench or modify a wrench to fit in there. This 7/8 is pretty big headed here. If we had almost a crow's foot, that would almost fit in there better. Okay, I'm gonna check and see if I have a better or skinnier 7/8. Okay, I got 3 different ones here. We'll see, and this is actually made to grab extra. You see the handle's so long. This is my skinniest one, an old Craftsman. I might take this in and heat this up with a torch so I could give it a little bend. I did loosen that one side. I want to see if I got a little motion to it, but I'm not. Yep. I'm gonna see if I can loosen this other one enough to where I can get enough play in this bar here to possibly get this one to go. Alright, I'm going to go heat the head of this 7/8 right here, and I'm going to give it a whoop-do there. Okay, this is still hot, so I'm just kind of checking the fit out here. Actually got to go a little more. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Whew. Okay. There's probably a dual wrench combination here. Okay, that sucker is hot too, so don't burn yourself just moving it around. Alright. Look at it, I broke it loose and now I'm unscrewing it. Alright. Okay, I can wiggle that bar. And I can wiggle that bar. So now, okay, I just moved it 1/8 of an inch. Okay, let's get this rigged up, and I think what we're going to be doing is we're going to be picking it, and I think we're going to go right off the back of the lathe here, right off the back of the bed. It's only going to be part of a lathe now. Okay, move this airline here, and we got to have room for that to go back this way. Let's see how. I had it over here and it was lifting a little bit too much on the back. I think we're good now. Okay, and I'm just going to move these wrenches here. I wanted to keep that rag on the opening there still. Okay, I think it'll go that way. I just need to put that up there for there. And Move the gantry a little bit. Okay, I saw shim, flakes, paint. I think it was paint. Yep, paint. It's been on there a while. Okay, I might have to grab that other leg because I'm running out of a little room there, and this has got some room to play here. Okay, pick it up a little bit more. Oh, okay. We gotta loosen and drop this this gear on the back. It just came up against the back of the gear, and of course I think it's a 7/8, and I happen to have all 20 of my 7/8 wrenches right there. All right, that dropped down. Now we can come past it. There we go. Okay. This floor slopes 80 different directions there, so all right. What kind of treasures are we going to find in here? The place you never can see. I bet you that was a good chip making day right there. That's a stainless steel chip. Taking 125 thousandths off. Can't wait till we're doing this. That's something. Okay. Until next time, get her done.